Welcome to the Feminine Voice of God, a podcast celebrating women's spiritual connections to God, Source, and Spirit, including the mystical and the psychedelic. Join us as we explore women's transformative experiences of divine revelation and spiritual empowerment.
So I want to welcome everybody to episode 7 of the Feminine Voice of God. I'm here with Stephanie Van Alen. I got that correct, right? Good.
Yes.
Okay.
Grateful to be here and thank you for having me.
Yes, of course. Thank you. I'm so happy that you're here. All right, guys. This is the first time I'm using this software on the computer, so we're hopefully not going to have any hiccups when we're doing this. But I want to get started. Stephanie, you have such an incredible, I think, story to share. I mean, I don't even know it yet, and I feel like it's awesome. And just from meeting you on Instagram and seeing the artwork that you create, I mean, you're connected. Like, you are connected to something. And I would love for you to share some more of that. And I just
Yeah,
want
definitely.
I just want to point out, like, guys, like, find Stephanie because her artwork is so beautiful. And I think, like, it
Thank you.
needs to be seen. I feel like I'm like, why isn't everybody on this? It's gonna blow up for you. I know it is. It's gonna
I
blow up.
feel divine timing for sure because it's definitely been this inner temple journey healing, and it
Mhm.
wouldn't have made sense if it was last year or, you know, whenever. So it's really interesting how things unfold. And when you go inside and start doing the inner work, and that's where I have been. And before being on Instagram, I worked the outside in with promoting and trying to be out there and really trying to, like, express myself, but I wasn't really coming from, turning inwards, and it was just putting me deep into the ground and draining me, but at the same time, that challenge was teaching me to become a higher version of myself and connect back to source, connect back to sacredness, and trusting my true authentic self, and this whole journey has been that, and there's still so much to come for
Yeah.
sure.
No, I love that, and I love that you point that out because I think so many of us, I think just part of our human experience is seeking outside and looking outside of ourselves, and we don't realize how much is connected to our own inner world. So I
Right.
love Yeah, I love that you share that. So with that, I wanna jump into just asking you the initial question that I ask all my guests is, what really started this spiritual journey for you? Like, what was the moment that you can remember that it just, like, something just shifted and changed for you?
It was probably after I graduated high school. I always kinda had that free hippie soul. I wanted to get out of my hometown.
Mhm.
I never felt like I fit in, and I went up to Seattle, and I remember watching a group of artists create a mural, and I was just struck. I was like, "Oh my god, this is absolutely amazing. I don't even know how they are able to do it," and then I just knew that I had to start putting my passions into practice and really start
Mhm.
going there because art has always been a part of my soul, but it was always kinda surface.
Yeah.
I would see these women and feel the guidance, but I didn't know how to channel it. I
Mhm.
didn't know how to express it, and so, going through the ups and downs and challenges and stuff, it really, like, pushed me more into that corner of, like, "Hey, this is what you came here to do on this planet, and you
Mhm.
have to trust yourself and go for it." And it was in the beginning, like, I've been doing art for, like, 13 plus years, and
Yeah.
in the beginning, it was grimy, there was so much failure, there was so much challenge, there was so much, um things telling me I couldn't be where I wanted to be. But again, I think that's part of the puzzle because you start becoming more of who you are by it's like a diamond, right? Like that pressure that
Mhm.
just puts you in that place to where you can authentically stand in your truth at some point, and be like, this is who I am. And I'm
Yeah.
not going to be apologetic about it. I'm not going to conform. This is what I have to share. And when you come from that place, you become a magnet and you start attracting the right people, situations, flow onto your journey. And so it's always been there, but I always had to learn how to just keep chipping at the layers and layers and layers to get closer to my core. And I've worked with shamans on my journey too. I did massage therapy, which opened a lot on my path to really like connect me deep to
Yeah.
myself.
How did the massage therapy part support you with that?
It was really interesting because I was living in San Diego at the time. I was still doing my artwork. I was in a reggae
Ooh,
music video, and I had, like, the long dreads and
nice.
everything. Yeah, and then I thought, and this is how important it is to think of, like, your thoughts and your mindset. At that time, I was like, "Oh, I need to get a real job," and so I was like, "I need to go to school and do why not massage therapy?" Because it
Yeah.
seemed in alignment, and it totally, like, it was 8 years I studied therapy, energy healing, working with people, and it wasn't my true passion, though, like,
Mhm.
but I'm glad I did it because it really brought me closer to my soul, because now when I look back from 8 years, I'm like, I needed that to bring me closer to my art, for it to have that vibration, that frequency, to know what energy is surrounding me, because if I didn't do the massage therapy, I wouldn't have known that.
Yeah. So you're saying like the massage therapy piece helped you understand your own energy more?
Absolutely, and all the stuff and baggage I had to clean out of myself from my past traumas, I had to heal. I
Yeah.
had to heal my inner child. I had to heal, um, forgive a
Mhm.
lot, and also with massage therapy, learn how to hold space for individuals
Yeah.
and what energy is held in the body.
Mhm.
And when I would work on clients, I would see different colors that were related to chakras
Yeah.
within the body,
Mhm.
and even, people, loved ones that passed over, would come in on sessions and
Wow.
asked me to deliver messages for clients, and I didn't know how to, because 'cause I've always been a channeler, I've always been an empathic soul, but
Mhm.
again, I had to learn these tools to use it and ground it and right, and put it in that right direction, and so, um, yeah, going on the journey really helped me learn how to do that, because when it all comes at you, or for me, it was like, what do I do with this? Who are the people that I can talk to about this?
I know.
Massage therapy isn't, I mean, I was around people that worked at like Massage Envy. They just go in, get a massage, and leave. But like I saw how sacred it was. And it was just a little more intense for me on my journey with that. And eventually I closed down my business for massage therapy during
Mhm.
COVID, but it brought me back to my artwork,
Yeah.
which is my true passion,
Which
long
is
story
what
longer.
what
Yeah,
you wanna do, but I think they're all stepping stones to where
absolutely.
right? Even my job in mental health, like,
Right.
I started it because of my own mental health journey that I went through, healing myself, healing my inner child, right? All through the mind, and that led me to working with other people, and now working with other people, same thing. I pick up energy from them all the time. Like, I'll feel something that they're going through, and if they're open to it, I can really support with transmuting that energy with them.
Right.
And I do this with, medicine journeys as well. This is like a same, like a gift that popped up for me that I
Yeah.
had no idea. I was like, "What do I do with this, and how do I use this?"
Right.
And
And that's super powerful.
yeah, and it came during a plant medicine journey that I was doing where I was able to feel energy of other people. I could see beings and things pop up around people.
Wow.
Same thing with colors. I would see colors around people. I would see colors just behind my eyes of different chakra colors. And the messages that came to me were, this is your gift. This is something that you need to do to support others." And I
Right.
was, "Mm, I'm good. I'm okay. Like, this is my life. I'm fine." Like, I didn't believe in myself, right? I was like, "I can't do this. Who am I to
Well,
do
and it
that?"
gets overwhelming because it's like they hand down this gauntlet to you. Your spirit
Yeah.
guides are like, "Here." figure
Yeah.
it out. And you're like,
They're like, "We're giving you the tools," and they would show me how
yeah,
to use that energy in the ceremonies, and I was like, I just can't do it," until I went to Hawaii, and
wow.
when I was in Hawaii and I did a plant medicine ceremony, it was it was
That
like,
island is alive. It's
oh,
alive
dude,
and
the
living.
island, that energy,
Pele.
spirit, yeah, of that
Mhm.
island is so powerful, and
Yeah.
when I was there, it had been like a small whisper, and then it was kinda like a nudge. This was like a smack to the face, and spirit was like, "I need you to do this," and, like, "I've told you so many times, and why aren't you doing this?" And I was like, "Okay." So I've, like, been integrating that as well as the podcast, and, like, really, like, sharing women's stories. I mean, I shared on episode 1, so if you haven't listened to episode 1, but how I got here to this podcast piece and how vital and important it is for women like ourselves to share this story because a lot of what
Extremely.
yeah,
Yeah.
so much of what you're experiencing and what you went through, it's almost like our world right now, like, it's almost everywhere, this
Right.
spirituality, but then it's, like, so hard to find genuine and authentic people that are actually doing the work and are in it.
I really like that you brought that up because the word like shaman, right? Like
Mhm,
it could be two different ways. You can think of being out in Mexico dancing under the crazy
mhm.
stars or whatever, taking a plant medicine or whatever. Or
Yeah,
you can think of it as like at a yoga studio, it's commercialized somewhere like
mhm,
shamanic practices or whatever. So it's like it is really important to make sure when you're doing like working with these different therapies to know who you're working with and
mhm.
understand what's going on for sure. Because
Yeah,
sometimes it could be just so like, "I'm a light worker, I do," like so
yeah.
freely spoken, but you don't really know if they're doing the inner work or what the intention is behind it.
Mhm. Yeah, no, 100%, I agree, and I think it's so easy for so many people now to just wear spirituality as a badge for the ego, right? It's just another
Right,
thing that they can put on, their social media handle. Like, I'm a
right,
shaman or I'm, like you said, a light worker. And then when you look at their page, it's like super curated for advertising and for gaining followers and for doing all of that.
right,
It's hard to see the authenticity in it. Um,
right.
yeah, so 100%, I think that's why I think when I followed you, I saw your art and I just saw your energy and I was like, "Okay." I was like, "I have a feeling that I'm gonna probably invite her to be on the podcast at some."
And I had the same connection when I found you because 'cause I'm like, "Oh my gosh, your energy is amazing and vibrant and like this divine, powerful goddess."
Thank
Yep,
you.
so
Yeah,
that's why I was like, "Add."
yeah, so because we were on the same vibe, so
Totally.
we were pulled into each other's gravitational flow here.
Yeah.
Now yeah, now here we are, look at recording, and honestly, like, some people would probably be like, "No, I'm good," or, "Oh, you gotta pay me, like, $500," or whatever, and I was like, "Look, this is voluntary." I'm like, "This little podcast, I'm just starting," but you were like,
But
"I'm a"
it's not little though, because that's the energy and the expansion because we are the creator of our reality, and when you get this nudge and placement in your heart that you have this mission here to do, like, your soul already chose this mission.
Yes.
So, it's your responsibility, right, to, like, believe in it and nurture it and, step forward with that. I just picture this energy, like this divine energy, you just keep watering it. And the women need that support because when I was on my journey, I had no one to talk to when I was seeing entities come in when I was doing massage therapy. I didn't really know, and I was working at a Pilates, like a studio, so it was like it was spiritual, but it was surface.
Mm,
So, when I made my way to open up my own space for a little bit, I had she's like a sister to me now. She was, right across the hallway, and she's a shaman, and so
mhm.
I had my massage therapy room, and I was like, "Who's that?" They're
I'm
like,
like,
"Oh, that's Shay. She's a shaman." I was like,
"Ooh."
"Oh, we're gonna be friends."
Yeah.
And I remember going into her healing room and there was, like, crystals, you could just
Oh
feel the
god.
frequency
I
and
can feel it.
energy, and we were divinely supposed to meet because she helped me break through so many barriers,
Wow.
because on my massage path, I left kind of my art behind
Mm,
where I didn't put so much Like it was there, but like my women fully weren't present yet. They fully didn't have the frequency and vibration that you can feel when you feel it now. I
Yeah.
had to really work on that because that's closer to my soul and closer to the spirit guides that I work with, my ancestors. And
Mhm.
so she helped me unlock all of that. I had artist block, but I thought, oh, I need a real job, right? So I need to like go this direction, which is crazy because when COVID hit, it brought me right back to my art.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
really everything is in a higher divine order.
It is.
And you just have to really wake up every day and place that belief in your heart of what you really want to create and move forward in that direction. And the world and the universe will shift around you to make it happen.
Yeah.
You just have to keep moving forward.
Yeah,
So,
100%. Yeah, I agree in it. And so much of it I think too is, and I see this just in my work is in mental health, is our mind gets stuck in these loops and these layers
right,
of control, of fear, of patterns of behavior. And really so much of that, of staying on that path that you're talking about, is being aware that that's happening and
right.
back to that centered space. Because
Yep.
when you get into that loop and you get into that thinking, like I even saw a guy today on social media. While like I watch social media when I'm on my treadmill, it helps the time go by so much faster. Um, and he was, like, talking about how what are we doing with our human life? Like, and why are we doing these mundane things and these things that are, like, out out of our control, but we're doing it anyway, and we're, like, a part of the money drive, the rat race, like, all those things, right? And I was just thinking about how that's all of those things when we really focus on that, it becomes so overwhelming for us as a human being because there's so much that's outside of our control in this reality, but we actually have so much flow and divine connection when we turn inward and we're connected to exactly what it is that you're talking about.
Yeah, the fourth D, 50. It's that, but that's the field. So is it Rummy? He
Really?
speaks of the field, right? He speaks of that field, and when you take time and, create that sacred space for yourself and go into meditation, each morning you can create that field, that space, and set your intention, and that's the craziest thing is you can create your reality, like but what you were saying, you have to be aware of the loops that are holding you back, the loops and the blocks and the past thinking or having grudges or fear, not believing in yourself, like when you're reprogramming your mind with positive affirmations, showering yourself with things that make you happy,
Mhm.
really turning into you and trusting that part of you, the doors are going to be opening. I mean, I have failed so many times and now I'm able to run my own art business from my house. And I think like my spirit guides every single day with that. Like, thank
Mhm.
you. Like there's so many times I wanted to throw in the towel or I wanted to go apply for a job. And the universe was like, nope, sorry. Your
No.
women have a message. So you need to
Yeah.
figure it out. And so I've dedicated and I continue to dedicate myself to this work.
Yes. Yeah, and let's talk about your artwork now because I see it in the background. I see it on social media. I mean, where is your inspiration coming for that? What's going on there for you? Just, like, walk us through that beautiful creative experience that you're doing here.
I feel it in my blood. I feel it in my bones. I feel like I have an old soul. I
Mm,
feel like these women are beings, like they're messengers of light and positivity and love and encouragement because we can create our own reality. We
mhm,
can. We just have to go inside. So, my inspiration and my passion is to channel these beings that come to me of highest consciousness, pure light, positivity, and use their energy to connect because shamans call it a hollow bone. So you're
mhm,
a bone, a hollow bone, and you let the universe come to and through you,
mhm.
right? You're grounded from the highest star in the universe down through your whole chakra system, down into your feet, into the core of the earth,
Yeah.
even farther into the crystals of the earth. And then when you're in that space, you're going to have this divine energy pour through. That's where all of my artwork is coming from, even vibrant, like the colors. My
Mhm.
colors are really bright And then when I'm done with my paintings, I'll say, "What is the message you want me to share?" So I feel like I'm a channeler. Like,
Yeah.
to me, it's like art is more than just a painting off the wall. It's a frequency, it's a vibration, it's a pure connection to the soul, to that magical world of infinite possibilities. And
Yes.
that's what we have to keep telling ourselves and removing ourselves from distractions. We are so distracted. We cannot hold our attention very long, which that is the problem. If we can really focus, even if you set an alarm for 5 or a timer 5 minutes a day to really focus on what you want to create, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
It
Yes.
has to happen,
Mhm.
and surrounding yourself with that energy. So that is my inspiration to keep showing that light to the world that they have it in them. They have that bright light and magic and creativity and to keep believing in themselves.
Wow.
And the women are
Yes.
very strong because I was at the lowest points in my life, and they would come in and pick me up. "What are
I
you doing? Figure it out." You
yeah.
know? Like, so they are just so strong, and I remember when I was starting on my marketing on Instagram a couple years ago, I joined this marketing business company, and it was so external, but I needed it on my path
Mhm.
because I don't work that way now. I had a very nice Instagram. I had a lot of followers. I ended up deleting it because it just wasn't in alignment. But I need and so you found me when I came out of my cave where I'm
Okay.
like, "Okay,
Perfect.
I'm I'm renewed."
Yeah.
Um, yeah, but they would, suggest, like, do different niches, and I would try painting oceans, but it always came back to my women because my women have a story to tell. Their story is so strong of, like, if you believe in yourself, anything is possible.
Mhm.
Anything is possible.
Yeah. No, 100%. And I think too, you sticking to what is authentically yours and your gift
Right,
brings the
right.
people to you. I mean, we know this, brings the people to you that are in alignment with that.
Yep.
Like you're doing
And your 100,000 welcomes will find
yeah.
you. Again, healers will say, "Your 100,000 welcomes, call them in." Like, everyone like, when you're doing your gifts, you're gonna have the right tribe come to you, so you don't have to worry about that, right? But I feel like the outside world trains us that we have to, like, grind and deplete our energy and, like, force things to happen when it's all from within. And when you come from that place of coming from within, it's
Mhm.
effortless, inspired action because 'cause you're co-creating with the universe.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So about these women that you're painting, they're you said they're coming to you. Do you know like where they're coming from? Do you know if
Pleiadians. Yeah, so I have star seed energy for sure. I have the 7 sisters. I work with the 7 sisters a lot in meditation.
Mhm.
Pleiadians, my ancestors for sure. A lot of Cherokee vibe there. Um, and I even took that into healing because I would paint women with feathers, and on my old Instagram, I would get people, "Why you can't paint feathers? How are you?" Like, what
Gosh.
you know what I mean? And it's like, "Whoa," it's just a different vibe because I'm like, "I no." So, really learning about just connecting to my spirit team is what I call them because they really step forward and deliver, like, what women are stepping forward, what message is coming forward, and how important it is to put that into the world, and the planet needs it right now because
Mhm.
shifts, right? It brings up the consciousness.
Yes, yeah, and we're also switching the polarity from the masculine into the feminine. So the
Yep,
age of the feminine is shifting in too, which I think that's why so much now of this, like, feminine energy is coming up for so many of us. Yeah,
right,
it's a big reason why I wanted to share just women's spiritual stories because I feel like there's so many women out there that don't connect to that or they're feeling called and they just they don't know what to do. So I
right.
like us being authentic and brave and showing up in this space is so important.
Right, because 'cause you're holding space and you're creating that space too for someone else to shine, like, when your light shines, right, you're helping others do the same and feel safe. to be seen and explore what
Yeah.
they have to offer, which is so important.
Yes. So what's like a message that you got? Like one of the most maybe like jarring or shocking messages that you got or inspirational messages that you got when you were doing some of your artwork?
So behind me, I have my spirit team. This is a newer one that I painted. When I was doing massage therapy, they always showed up.
Mm.
And it's a circle of the 7 Pleiades, and then I have ancestors, they're native, and then I have the 3 archangels. I also work with archangels in my meditations, and they would show me this, vortex, and they would say, "If you choose to, but you can create this new reality, you can create this space, and when you create this space, you're not healing yourself, but you're healing down your DNA line because it's bigger than just us.
Mhm.
It's bigger than just you and I. It's bigger than whoever's listening. It's when meaning like when you step into your truth and you're living on your path, you're sending out this frequency and vibration that is healing down your ancestral line and
Yes.
it impacts everything around you,
Mhm.
whether you would be aware of it or not. So that was a message that was really holy crap to me, right? Because it was like, I need to get my stuff together. I need to like I can't be out of alignment with, continuing down a path that doesn't really make me happy. I have to be in pure alignment. We live once. We get one shot on this planet. So stepping in that pure alignment is there's just so many positive benefits to it. But again, it's bigger, and then when you're stepping into your passion, you pour out this light and you're helping millions of other people on their journey and inspiring them whether you realize it or not,
Mhm.
and it's a beautiful thing. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I would always see that. I keep pointing to that. I would always see that over my clients when I'd be working on them. It's like
Mhm.
stepping into your truth, stepping into your alignment.
Wow, so they would show up while you're doing
Oh,
this
yeah.
for somebody.
'Cause massage is channeling.
Mhm.
Massage for me, I think, is channeling, artwork is channeling, when
Mhm.
you're creating this is channeling, like, when you're putting your focus and energy on something, you're channeling, or that's what I feel.
Yeah. No, I can totally understand that. That's something that I feel like that's what's happening for me when I'm doing plant ceremonies and I'm like an energy sitter for people. Like I'm
Right,
channeling something. I know it's not me. It's definitely not like the Nicole humanness that I am. There's something
right,
else that's supporting me, that's guiding me, and that's kind of like using my energy or my body to support these other people with transmuting that. So
right,
yeah, so I totally understand that.
right.
So w question, like, did you see them you saw them, like, in your third eye space or mentally, or you saw them physically, like, show up when you're doing these massage
Third eye space,
got
yeah. I
yeah,
would see him third eye for sure.
yeah, that's
Yeah, and then that was kind of the invitation, what you were speaking of when you were in or I'm assuming Maui, when you
I was
were in
like,
Hawaii.
the Hawaiian Island, the big one. Yeah.
Yeah, when you were in Hawaii, you were getting that nudge, right? And so they were the nudge, even though I would still paint my women, it was like, "Oh, I'm painting a beautiful woman," but I wasn't really like, "Oh, yeah, it's deeper than that," and then when they came in, they were like so I call that painting Spirit Council The Journey, because
Mhm.
they were the one that really had, like, grounded in my presence and what I'm doing.
Yes, yeah, I mean, it's absolutely beautiful. That was one of the ones that when I was scrolling through your page that I was immediately drawn to. I
Oh, thank
I
you.
I love this one, yeah, so it was that one was just so powerful. So I think
Thank
it's
you.
yeah, it speaks so much, just you can see it, I mean, I'm looking at it, I know you guys can't see it, but it's incredible, so go check it out on Stephanie's IG, but it's so powerful. Yeah, so I love that. Thank you so much for sharing about
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I wanna also ask you, like, what just over your time from your spiritual journey, from where it started, what do you think would be your biggest lesson, maybe the biggest message that you've received, something that you like, just the people that are listening right now, something that you would share with them that you think might support them on their journey?
You have to believe in yourself, hands down. You have to believe in yourself. And even if you take a journal and sit down and write down the opposing thoughts, like when you say to yourself, I believe in myself, and you have these opposing thoughts coming at you, write them down, cross them out, and rewrite positive affirmations. Because once you step into your worthiness, the universe will deliver. The universe will match you and mirror you. If you don't feel like you're worthy enough, you're going to be stuck in the same vibration. And so my message is to believe in your gifts, believe in your intuition, believe in that spark, and keep watering it every single day. And know that you're being guided and to trust the process. Absolutely. Because that's always been the same message when I read through my art prints or my paintings. When I describe them, it's always like worthiness. I'm enough. I am enough. Worthiness. Believe in yourself. Crucial.
Yeah.
Crucial to get to the next step of whatever you're seeking, whether that's inner peace, happiness, health, abundance. You have to believe that you're worthy to receive it, else it's not going to connect to that frequency.
Yeah.
Because right, we're all on different frequencies, and when
Mhm.
you have a dream, a goal, a desire, that's on a certain frequency, and you have to match it.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. No,
mhm,
100%. I think too, like, and I'm gonna ask you some hard questions here, but I think it's important for people to know, like, for people to match those frequencies, right? Because that's something I think so many of us see. It's like, oh,
yeah,
you be in that energy, in the same energy of whatever it is that you're trying to attract. Like,
yep,
what worked for you to really be in that space? Because I think when people hear that, people like
yeah.
look at their life and what they're in, and they're like, how do I do that? Or they're like, "Oh, I feel it. Like, I feel like I'm abundant. I feel like I'm, happy and joyful and good, but why aren't things coming to me? Why is it not working out for me?" Like, what is your experience with that?
So two things: gratitude. Gratitude is one of the highest frequencies, and it puts you in the place of the present moment, mindfulness, because all we really have is this moment of now. It doesn't really matter about your future, it doesn't matter about your past. When you could sit in this present moment and count all the things that you're grateful for, you're changing your frequency and vibration immediately, and you will start to see things flow to you.
Mhm.
And then the second one is really looking at just the positivity around you and being in nature. So,
Yeah.
what has worked for me is sitting by a tree and seeing the abundance of leaves, sitting
Mhm.
in plants and flowers. And I'm like, okay, we're like nature, right?
Mhm.
We're part of the stars. They are flowing and they're in alignment. I could be the same way. And what has really helped me is like looking at trees in abundance and seeing how much abundance is really surrounding me and
Mhm.
changing my frequency and mindset to I am abundant. Look at my thriving business. I
Yeah.
am happy, peaceful. And when I'm in that space, even if I set a clock for like 5 minutes to do that,
Mhm.
I'll notice things shift and change. But it's a daily practice. And
Yeah.
then when things do come up, you have to be aware of it and bless it, transmute it, and always clearing yourself. Every day I'm always clearing energy cords, clearing anything that could be trying to dim my light. It's a
Yeah.
daily practice.
How
Mhm.
are you doing that? How are you clearing that?
So I just think and visualize either through meditation or just being in the present moment with breath, breathing out things that feel dense or heavy.
Mhm.
And meditation, I'll do cord clearing,
Yeah.
right? Of hooks of people's opinions. People could be projectors where
Mhm.
they share their input. You have to just let that all melt away. I like to do it through meditation. I even create meditations on YouTube for that. I put that out into the universe because I've always felt very sensitive to where I could feel every other people's like projections on me. And so I think the more that you practice cutting cords and letting go, forgiveness,
Mhm.
um, you be more clear. You're more clear and you're able to step into your light.
Yes. Yeah.
But you have to tend to it. You have to tend to it constantly. I think like in the morning and right before you go to sleep. And
Yeah.
then I do energy grids of protection where I have Archangel Michael on my left, I have Metatron on my right, and I do the grid of white light from both of them. And then I'll shine my light out into the world, but only love and light and alignment is welcome. I have no problem saying no to anything that does not serve me, and I have to hold those boundaries because before I didn't, and now I do.
Yeah, and I think that's a big lesson for so many people is learning to have those boundaries, especially when it comes to other people and allowing other people's energy to shift and transform your own. Yeah,
That's huge.
a big
And
lesson.
it could be from, "Oh, but they're my family," or, "Oh, they're my partner or my best friend." Like, I need to hold space, but it's like, protect your peace. You know what I mean? Like, your peace is the biggest self-love.
Yes.
Because when you honor yourself, you're also setting those boundaries and standards, what you're gonna be accepting into your world. If
Mhm,
you're around somebody that wants to party and gossip, and you're inviting more of that energy in. So
mhm,
you have to be aware, again, of, like, what you're connecting to. And I'm very picky. I stay in my studio quite a bit, and I have just a close-knit of friends because I'm very sensitive with that. I
mhm,
used to go to really big sound healings. I'd bring my artwork. I was grateful to be there.
mhm.
50 plus people healing in a room. I was zapped.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. It's just knowing how you work. And so being
Mhm,
on this journey for a very long time, I'm okay with how I like to work and honoring myself in that way.
yeah.
And showing that self-compassion to be like, "You know what? I It's okay to take this time for me. It's okay to say no." Because
Mhm.
saying no is, again, self-love. You don't have to say yes to everything, which
Where
is another big lesson too.
I think that that lesson is like when we're at different areas of our life, right? And our energies may be in different places. There's times where I can be in a big group and I can join a meditation that's this big
Right,
meditation can be a part of that and I'm good. And then there's other times where same thing, I can't. Like I feel there's so much happening, there's so much energy or so many people that maybe haven't done some of the deep inner work that it's overwhelming and it's exhausting, you know.
right.
And even like I did a plant ceremony with some women in Joshua Tree.
Oh, that's amazing.
It was so incredible, and same thing, I could sit there in meditation probably the whole time. When I was in Hawaii, I sat in meditation for 8 hours, supporting the people
Wow.
who were doing the journey, and I'm just like, kind of what you're talking about, like, I'm holding my frequency and my energy. Anything that comes that is a lower vibration, I, like, surround it with love. I, like, use the heart chakra energy and color, surround it with love, and I transform and transmute it because it's not just, "Oh, I'm turning over everything that's not good for me to the universe." Like, the universe has so much that it's already working and doing, and
Right,
there's so many things to support that can support in that, and I think like, we have so much power to transform what we're experiencing into love, and I think that
right.
people give that power away. They're like, "Oh, I'm just gonna give it to the universe," and that's something I learned in my meditation teacher training because I also do meditations. I love meditation, but
That's
it was
amazing.
yeah, my teacher was like, "Transmute it into love, like, turn it into love." So I do that when I feel somebody's energy in these sacred spaces coming up and it's something really heavy and dense. I just breathe and I transform it into love with them. And it's just like they're just matching my energy and my vibration. And
Right,
it's not really fooling me. It's them like stepping up to that place to meet that. So I
right.
think that what we're talking about when we're in these big groups, there's some people that just haven't done that inner work. I mean, they're
Right,
looking for the thing that's gonna be the aha, like, that's gonna support them and change it for them and, like, completely shift it, but really it takes so much inner work, and I've met that with so many people that I've done, like, ceremonies with or just that I've met in, like, the mental health space that
yeah,
they wanna get there, but they're not willing to do the steps and, like, peel back the layers to be able to
right.
meet themselves there, you
Well,
know?
and you have to do that because when they come back and see you, they're telling the same looped story
Mhm.
and the same patterns, and I would have that with my some of my massage clients where some of them I'm like, "I can't help you,"
Mhm.
because I can't just, I mean, most or some massage therapists, I'm not speaking for all, but for me, like, I couldn't just, like, relax them. I was like, "Oh my gosh." I'm,
Yeah.
like, pulling energy out, transmuting it, you know what I mean? Like, it was yeah, so it was definitely interesting, but when you're holding the space, do you I have a question for you. Are you working with angels, or do you see beings that are helping you transmute the energy when you're working with people?
Yeah, sometimes they come in, like, it's like a spirit team,
Oh,
and
that's amazing.
they're just like light beings. They don't look
Yes, for sure.
feminine, they don't look masculine, they're just like
Yep.
these light beings, and they come, and they're there, and I can see them either in my third eye space, and there's times
Okay.
I've seen them physically come in.
Okay.
I've actually seen the dark energy things come in more
Mm,
visually, like, in this 3D world than the light ones. The light ones stay, like, in my third eye space and, like
and that high frequency,
yeah,
yep.
yeah, so, like, the other beings come in, and there was one that came in Hawaii where it's just, like, swooping in, like, this little dark, like, energy coming and trying to, like, jump into people's, like, aura, and I would, like, sit there, and I'm, like, breathing, and I would send, like, light and energy towards them, and it would just, like, go away, you know?
Yeah,
I've done my own ceremonies too, I've seen them come in, um, and it's just, like, sending them, like, light energy and, like, just kind of pushing them out.
right.
Remember one time I was doing this meditation where my aura was super big, and I could see it in my third eye space, and then all these dark energies were coming and, like, pushing on it, and my aura was getting smaller and smaller and smaller until it was, like, this little tiny thing around my body, and I was surrounded by all this dark energy. And in my third eye space, my spirit guides come in and they told me to do this symbol with my hand. They were
Oh, wow.
Mudra. They were like, do it like this and push it out. And when you do that, do a big exhale because your breath is a bridge to like this world and to also grounding yourself. And also it's an energy. So I was like,
Right.
okay. So then I breathed out. And when I went like big exhale out, my aura just went and grew super big. My breath was like light coming out of my mouth. And it was like
Wow.
this light that shot out. And those beings just went flying. Those dark energies just went flying. And the moment I did it, Stephanie, I have this little teacup Yorkie. He comes out from under the bed and starts barking like crazy.
Oh my
I
gosh.
was like, oh my god, I had chills. I was like, oh my,
Yeah.
and they
You're
were
like,
like,
"This stuff is real."
yes,
I know. Yeah.
and I
Yeah.
thought like I'm like, oh, I'm just in my own world, like having my experience. But they were like, no, they were like, this is something that people need to learn. Like that
Absolutely.
and that we're teaching you to hold that space when you're supporting
Right.
other people when they're doing
Yep.
this, because those
Yep.
beings and those energies are gonna come.
Right.
It's not and I work with so many people too in mental health that are like, "Oh, I see things and I experience things that are dark and they're really scary," and it's like and I understand that because I used to feel that way, where I was really fearful. I would, like, see
Right.
shadows or see things, and I'm like, "Oh my god," like, I would freak out. But now
Yeah.
I'm like I see them and I'm like, "Hmm." I'm like, "What are you doing here?
Yeah,
What are"
you don't give them the power.
Yeah, I'm like, "What are you here to try to teach me, or what are you trying to get?"
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Because they're just, like, on this whole other frequency too, like, existing, like, getting something out of whatever it is that they're doing, or they're there for a lesson, or sometimes it's your own, like, energy that you're carrying,
Yeah.
lower
Yep.
frequency, it's appearing in this reality. So, like,
Yeah.
that's something else I've learned too. And really it's just all of it so much of it is transmuting it into love and transmuting
Yeah.
it into love. And they're
Being the alchemist.
yeah, and they're willing to accept that, some of those beings, and some of them are. Like, some of them can't
Right.
and they, like, take off, and that's all good. Like,
Yeah.
but yeah, so that's definitely what I feel and what I experience when those things come in for me. Yeah.
I used to be really, like, scared about that. I would think, like, "Oh gosh, if I was stepping more into the spirituality, like, I have to be careful and da 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 da." And then the more I worked with my mentors, my shaman sisters, they just, they just kept telling me, like, "You don't." And too, like, through my own experience, I like to just keep raising my frequency, raising my vibration so that energy can't reach me. It
Mhm.
can't reach me at all. And it's, again, like being that alchemist, like, you transmute it into love and light. And again, life is gonna be different. You're not gonna be positive all the time. We're gonna go through the ups and downs, but taking that time to have the stillness of what you were saying, like, what is it teaching me? What is it showing me? But not giving it the power to put you in a fearful,
Yes.
doubtful, lower vibrational state. And that has taken me a long time to learn for sure. Because when I would have clients come on the table, I would get kind of anxious because I would feel them. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, like feel their energy and what's
Yeah.
happening. In school, they didn't really teach you how to flush that energy out. And
Mhm.
so I didn't learn that, or maybe they did. I didn't pick it up because I would hold everybody's energy. I would get hot flashes.
Oh,
I'd
wow.
feel overwhelmed.
Mhm.
Hold on. And so with that, like when I met my friend who's a shaman, she's like, yeah, you have to connect, like be that hollow bone. So when you're picking up the energy, you picture it going through you as a pillar of light and down into the earth. And it's completely, you're not using your energy
Mhm.
because the universe, you've connected and then it's coming in and doing the work and then transmuting it back out into the earth. And that took me a lot of time grounding, right? So
Mhm.
grounding was like a big one that I had to learn. I ground, I mean, even before we started our conversation today, I set that intention to ground. And I really put that in my daily practice because I think it's so important, again, to be in the present moment because there's so much beauty in this essence, and we can be so easily distracted by the outside world. And the more that you can practice being present, the more you'll be able to control the things that come into your life. You won't be as reactive. You'll
Mhm.
be able to respond more with wisdom,
Mhm.
right, than fear and doubt and such.
Yeah. No, I totally understand that, and I think that's, like, the biggest lessons for people to learn is how to be present and be in this current moment without letting the ideas and thoughts of the past, right? The ideas and thoughts of the future, and just the layers and layers and layers of patterns and control and,
Right.
like, confusion that we live in, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I think too, like, all of that, that's all part of, like, this great thing that we're existing in, like,
Right.
all of it to me, all of it is God, is the universe, is, that energy. It's all part of the one great thing to me, and when I start seeing things from that perspective, it really
Right.
started to shift stuff for me because I think us as human beings too, we have this natural, like, inclination to think of things in, like, black and white. Either or, good or bad, right or
Yep.
wrong, and that also creates this separation from the one self and, like, the one great thing. When I started shifting that way of thinking for me, and that was part of me learning about these entities too, these darker ones coming in, right? Like, it's just the other side of,
Right.
like, the light energy, and it's
It's
just
duality.
yeah, it's just as vital and important, like, without that,
Yeah.
we know the other piece, and, like, we
Right.
wouldn't have the lessons and things that we're learning. Um, there's this song I love, I forget who the singer is, but he says that you can't rush your healings because darkness has its teachings, and I'm like,
Trevor Hall.
"Yes, Trevor Hall, thank you, thank you."
Trevor Hall.
I'm
My
like,
voice is scratchy, sorry.
just
I'm like, "Trevor Hall."
you're like,
Yeah,
I know who it is, Trevor
I
Hall."
know.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's
love
been a part of my journey. Oh my god,
I
yeah.
love Trevor Hall.
All his music.
Yes, all his music and, East Forest. You listen to East Forest too?
No, I haven't, I don't think. I
Okay,
will check it out.
find East Forest because that's how I got into Trevor Hall was through East Forest, and East Forest,
Okay.
God, incredible, so incredible. They actually have a song together called A Reminder. It's so
Oh, that's
beautiful.
cool.
You guys should look it up right now, like, find it after this podcast. It's called A Reminder by East Forest and Trevor Hall, and it's just, oh my god, my soul. Um, so yeah, so it was just learning about that it's all part of the one great thing, right? Yeah.
Right. Well, and it also reminds me of that, the dark night of the soul, right? Like, you have to go through the that dark space, and a lot of times people may not wanna do the inner healing because they have to refeel it, right? They have to go back and peel those layers, and it won't feel good, and but that's where you transmute it into love and light. Like, I had 2 shamans work on my throat because I had such a blocked throat chakra. I wouldn't be able to speak. I mean, sometimes I'll get a little nervous at first, but then I'll flow. But they had me and I created a painting called Light Expansion from it, and it's the woman with the wolf howling
Mhm.
because I was so trapped there, and I had to learn to go in and go back and unpeel that darkness that was holding me captive there, and then transmute that into light. And then painting it also, I felt like brings it into more love and more light and more expression, then to share it with other women on their journey that may feel the same way with speaking their truth or speaking their reality into fruition. So that's why I think painting that was such an important piece to help others along their journey because it was so impactful for me. They even had the healers, they even had me like roar like a bear. It was so intense. It was so yeah, it was really intense. So,
Yeah. Wow, that sounds incredible, and I think too, you're 100% right. There's so many people that that's a point that they struggle with, and communicating and just speaking their
right.
truth. Yeah, that happens for so many people, so I think that was so needed for you to be able to share.
Absolutely. I had to do it was actually a past life healing, so it went, like, past, past, past life,
Yeah.
where it was so interesting and, like, because I would on my journey, I never liked public speaking, and I
Mhm.
remember when I first started in my massage journey, I called it, like, the Harry Potter school because it was pretty cool with, like, people and energy healing. You're like, "Oh my god," and they had moxa boxes. Have you
Yeah.
heard of moxa where
No.
they burn the herbs by your feet in
Oh,
the
nice.
meridians and stuff?
Girl.
But we sat in this big group. It was probably, like, 30 people, and we all had to go around and say something, and I was in it the school was in San Diego, and I was up, and I was like I couldn't even speak,
Oh
and I just
gosh.
jumbled, and I know, I have goosebumps talking about it, but the cool thing was I this gray energy came up out of my throat and into the circle, and
Wow.
I was like, "Oh my god." So I finally was able to introduce myself, and then when I went to the bathroom, I
Mhm.
looked lighter,
Wow.
which was really trippy, so I was like, "Oh my gosh." So yeah.
Well, that energy is really heavy, you know?
Yeah.
Mm. I'm actually taking, like, a week vacation from my job because there's so much energy and stuff that comes up for me that I have to really, like, reground and disconnect.
Yeah.
Going to Sequoia National Park, there's no internet connection, absolutely nothing
Oh, that's amazing.
to reach you. Like, you're out there, it's just you and those giant ass
Yeah.
beautiful trees, those beings, those incredible.
Sequoia, right?
Yeah, Sequoia.
They're huge.
They're huge. They're
I did a
huge.
healing out there.
Yeah? Oh my gosh, it's a
Not to interrupt you, there's so much wisdom, a lot of ancient,
much.
divine feminine wisdom there. But
And
go
there's
ahead.
yeah, no, the trees no, I appreciate it because you're
Yeah.
trees are so powerful.
Yep.
There was times I was just walking through them, and I would look up at the leaves and just at the grandness of them, and I could see around them all the chakra colors. They're like a
Whoa.
slide. There's all the chakra colors around them. I would take pictures of them, and the chakra colors would appear next to them and in the light. And then when I did
That's amazing.
yeah, I did videos of them. There was, like, these little I call them their spiritual eyes. There was, like, all these eyes that popped up on the video. Like, it was, like, so crazy. And I'm sure, like, people will be like, "Oh, that's just the light. That's just this." It's like, no, like, when you learn to understand the
Yeah.
things, like, it was so
You
powerful.
trust it.
Yeah, and then I
Well,
would
and I wanna mhm.
go ahead.
Oh, and just to add on that, I'm just getting really excited when you were talking about, well, how do people feel abundant, right? Like you hear it all, you have all the mentors say, "Yeah, manifest your reality, think positive." What shift in my brain, one of it was really sitting with a tree. I know that could sound really silly, but not like really observing the abundance of it and the
Mhm.
essence of it because going to Sequoia, that's abundant. They're
Yeah,
huge.
yeah,
They are enormous,
they're
and
no
they hold powerful energy. We can
yeah,
connect to that and learn from it. And when you see it throughout your day, your flowers, your plants, you're like, "I'm abundant.
mhm,
I'm abundant." And as soon as I started practicing that, things were flowing onto my path. I
yeah.
was getting more of my tribe coming to me. So,
Yeah, no.
But going back to what you were saying with, like, how powerful trees are, because that's actually been my teacher, one of them.
No, trees are incredible. Imagine being so grounded in your energy that you can exist there for thousands of years. That's
Right.
quite
They
like like, how? Like, if you wanna talk about being grounded, like, go
Yeah.
sit in a fucking tree for real.
Yeah.
Or just go
Yeah.
hug a tree. When sometimes I take people for walks in my work, and we'll go and I'm like, "Hey," I'm like, "We're gonna hug this tree." And we like they're like, "What?" They're like, "Are you fucking crazy, Nicole?" I'm like, "I am." And
We're like, "Trust me, just trust
I'm
the
I'm like,
process."
"Just try it. Just try it." And they're like, "What if somebody sees us?" I'm like, "What if somebody sees us? What are maybe somebody driving by that sees us might think we're crazy, but later is gonna go hug a tree, and they're gonna feel healed. So let's just do it."
Right.
Right, and I'll have
Right.
them like 3 or 4 trees, and by the time we're done with our walk, they feel so much better.
Right. And
Yeah,
just to add to that too, another lesson that's been on my journey, do not care what anybody else thinks of
yeah,
you.
yeah,
Stand in your true self, because we are all actually mirror reflections of each other, shining our own light back and forth. And you could feel embarrassed or feel weird, or like people are feeling the same way, and you work through those feelings and take your power back. For the longest time, I always worried about what people thought about me. I was
yeah,
like, "Oh, my art's so different. It has to be this way. It has to be like visionary art and da da da." Which those were blocks actually holding me back. And once I started cracking that down, or, if people make comments about my artwork, like, I'm not on that frequency. I'm not
yeah,
on that level, meaning, like, I love myself so much that
mhm,
I am who I am and I trust myself fully, right? And I
yeah,
think that's really important for people to really keep practicing it. But again, it's a daily practice. You're not gonna wake up and be like, "I fully believe in myself. I'm
yeah,
positive. Everything's" like, you have to work at it, and
mhm,
you just have to. I keep going back to a mental garden. I see someone right now, like, watering, tending to their plants, pulling out the weeds. Every day you have to be living it for it to actually make a change in your life.
yeah. No, I think that's so important. I think that's such an important piece.
Yep,
Um,
don't care what people think about you.
yeah, no, really, like and the more authentic you are in that, you it's like you give other people permission to do the same.
Exactly, and also just to share with you, I was always in a place of, like, "Don't see me. I
Mhm,
have my gift. Don't see my light. Oh, shoot, you see my light. How do I act?"
mhm,
And my art just kept cracking me open. Nope. Cracking me open. Nope. And so now it's actually, like, so freeing to be able to express myself authentically and not have to worry about, "Oh my god, do people think I'm weird because" no. I know where I'm at. I know who I am. I'm grounded, I'm protected, I'm
mhm.
serving my purpose, I'm shining this positivity out into the universe. I got this,
Yes.
right? That
Yes.
you're and also to remember you're not gonna be everybody's cup of tea,
Yeah.
and that's okay,
Mhm.
because they're gonna find somebody else on their journey that can help them, right? And sending them love and light, not to be like, "Oh," you keep it at a very positive level, but letting that go and taking your power back is huge with that, and not letting other people worrying about what other people think of what, you know, who you are and such, because
Yeah.
that can be such a prison if you
Yeah,
stay in that space.
and it really drags you down. Yeah.
Well, and social media doesn't
I
help.
mean
All these other things don't help, and that again is a distraction, so you have to make that list, like, "What's distracting me right now? What is taking my light? How can I" the person that I wanna be, this higher version of myself, what would they not be doing? They wouldn't be over drinking alcohol. They wouldn't be, you know, binge watching negativity. They wouldn't be consuming things that don't serve them. You have to connect to your higher avatar. And that's when I saw your photo of your podcast and this just like, whoa, it's like this avatar, right? It's like, and that's what the women in the art are for me. That's like my avatar, getting to that place, because
Yes.
then I can work from that frequency.
Yes, yeah. I agree 100%, and thank you so much about the art, by the way. My art is I use AI to create it, so it's
It's amazing.
work together, like,
It's
I love that that AI can do that for me because I'm an
right.
artist. I mean, I
Well,
am
no, you
okay,
are an artist. You
okay.
are an
Thank you.
artist. Yeah.
In a different way, like
Life is an art.
yeah, but I'm like, I love that AI can embody exactly what I wanted. Like, and it can
Well,
do it.
and to learn how to manage it, like, I had to come back out of my cave and be like, "Okay, I have the tools to share my artwork, but I can see the way of the negative of it, or I can turn and see the positive of it." And then when I connected to that frequency of using it in the right way, like you are using your AI art in the right way, it's extremely powerful, and
Yes.
it can touch more souls because, again, it's like, how many souls can you reach? How many souls can I touch? How many souls can I inspire today?
Mhm.
Right?
Yeah.
And we have the tools nowadays to do that. We just have to stay focused, grounded, set intention, and know where we're going with it while being in self belief.
Yes. Yeah. And I love that you said it's a practice, like a daily practice. It's a daily ritual.
It
'Cause
is
not just something that snap one day you're gonna wake up and everything's gonna be changed or different. Like it that will happen one day, but after you've been practicing and living in
doing
that
the inner work.
in the work. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're really like at our 1 hour mark. But
Already?
I wanna ask
It went
you
by so fast.
I know. I wanna ask you, like, what's one last, like, little nugget, golden nugget, or, like, spiritual story that you can share with all of our incredible listeners, just to leave us with? Something from your story, from your journey.
Never give up on yourself. Never give up on what feels right for you because if it's placed into your heart, it's meant for you. If it's placed into your heart, it's your guidance to figure it out and step in with co-creating with the universe to let things unfold and take you on this journey to keep pushing forward because there's so many times on my path that I didn't believe in myself. There's so
Mhm.
many failures. There's so many times that the world tried to say no. And to me in my dream, and the more that you stand in your courage and stand in your light and stand in your authentic self, you're going to be creating your amazingness and shining so much positivity out into the world. And that's going to help other people. It's going to be a ripple effect. So that's my message. Stay absolutely true to you and never, ever give up on who you are.
Wow. I love that, and that's such a powerful message. Thank you so much, Stephanie,
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
um,
Such good energy.
yeah, for taking the time. You do too. I think
Absolutely.
this was so incredible, and
This
I'm
was
so
amazing.
yeah, and I'm so happy for the people that are gonna listen to this because it was great for me, and I hope it was fantastic for you, and
It
I
was so fantastic.
yes,
I loved hearing your story too and your energy, and I have, like, goosebumps,
I know,
meaning it's a good vibration, right? I always, like,
yeah,
get those when it's a good flow with someone, so
yes,
thank you for having me, I'm truly honored,
of
and I
course.
think what you're doing is really, really, really important,
Thank
and it's gonna inspire a lot of people.
yeah, same to you, same to you.
Thank you.
And if you guys wanna find Stephanie, you guys can find her on IG. Stephanie Van Alen is your IG handle.
Yeah.
You have a website. I'll
I
get
have a website. I have
I'll
a Patreon. I love my Patreon too. It's like
yeah,
my sacred circle because I'm able to share more rituals and positive
uh-huh.
stuff there.
So where
So
how
I
you on that?
so Patreon, I have links on my Instagram, but in Patreon it's just Van Allen Art.
Yeah,
But you can also find it through Instagram because I think it's cool too there because like Instagram is like this wide, expansive place where like the people will find me, but like Patreon is like a more like sacred space, right? So I get super excited on that.
I love
Which
that.
all of it is blessed up anyways, but I'm really enjoying my Patreon space
Yeah.
and working with
Cool.
my peoples. So
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Patreon, but never checked it out, but
it's really amazing, and I
yeah.
feel energetically safe there
Mhm.
because I'm able to create that space. I'm able to know be intentional as who's coming in, you know what I mean? As with the public, social media, it's like you get bots, you get whatever.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'll use that to still share and you can still find me, but, like, my Patreon's my sacred temple.
Wow. That's beautiful. Good, that's good to know. So people find Stephanie there. Also, I'll put, like, your website and your information in the show notes, so if people wanna find you, look at your website, anything like that, they can do that too.
Thank you.
Of course, thank you, Stephanie. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Thank you for tuning in to the feminine voice of God. May the divine feminine within you continue to guide and inspire your spiritual journey. Stay connected, share your insights, and embody the wisdom shared on our podcast. Until next time, may the sacred essence of the feminine illuminate your path.